an issue out here.
Right, we should be good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver 61 and GridFinder.com, bringing you Season 13, Round 9 action from the Hungarian circuit here in Budapest. My name is Kieran Wright92, and I am joined, as always, by the wonderful DomThNoodle. Good evening, Dom.
Good evening, Kieran. Yeah, it's good to be back after the week break and then the week that Goose and Matty had. You know, it's nice to be back in the comments box with you again. Hungarian is a lot about this track that people hate. Some people call it Monaco without the walls. I mean, I personally don't find it that way, but other drivers do. They find it tough to overtake. 35 laps is the race distance tonight, 2.7 miles or 4.3 kilometers with 14.5 turns, if you include the kink out of the exit of turn 1. You know, you could see a mix of 1 to 2 stop strategies tonight. It depends on how drivers are feeling on the hards. Not everyone enjoys them, so keep an eye out on the strategies. It is possible to do a soft to medium, but you do have to bank on an early safety car. So again, keep an eye out for strategies that arise like so. And I also have some information from the driver's briefing for this week. There's a few matters that have been arising from the Russian Grand Prix. Offence to Regulation 3.1.2 qualifying in and out laps. Drivers going slightly slow on their outlaps is an offence and can be penalised if it continues to happen. Regulation... Were we not live?
Yeah, we're good.
Regulation 3.3.3 causing a collision. A few collisions had happened from what I could, what I could gather. So again, try to keep it out of another driver's car. An offence Regulation 3.3.9.1, returning to track. Some drivers have been returning to track very unsafely. So if you could all keep an eye on when you are rejoining the track, how you're rejoining it, and how you rejoin it. And there's only one change to the circuit this season, and that is that the pit exit white line has been narrowed to measure 4 meters from the track edge on the right-hand side. So don't expect many battles out of the pit exit if a driver can get better traction from behind. They will have to wait this season.
Go, Dom, the font of all knowledge. No, not flying solo, Sarah. I am here. Obviously, Dom was doing his little piece that he always does at the start of a stream, giving you all a track guide and filling you in with some information regarding Invictus and all of that. We have had follows, so Lukey Best, PSR Jish, and Mac192002. Welcome in, guys. Thank you for the follows. For those of you who may have missed last week's race in Russia, it was, of course, hosted by Andrew Gatton and Matty Valender. It was PSR Harry who picked up win number 4 this season for the Haas team. Liverpool Ewan finished on the podium for only the 2nd time this season, which I think we will cut to Dom very briefly after I finish what I've said. And I think Dom will probably agree. It's a bit of a shock from Liverpool Ewan, so just hang fire on anything you want to say in terms of that, Dom. But Liverpool Ewan did finish 2nd. It is only his 2nd podium of the season. And Raza picked up his 4th podium in 5 races to finish in 3rd place. So we will have a quick look at the standings. It is Ferrari's botched Gerbil still holding on to that lead in the Drivers' Championship. 8 points ahead of PSR Harry. Following that 2nd place last week, Liverpool Ewan is now in 3rd place, but does trail Harry by 14 points. And in terms of the constructors, it is the Ferrari team of Botched Gerbil and Raza that lead the way on 127 points, and they now have a 55-point lead over the Haas team of PSR Harry and Shush, with the Williams team of DCR Estimates and MCD Coda a further 13 points back in third. So, Dom, 2 questions for you. Number 1, with only 7 races left this season, Botch Gerbil's lead is only 8 points, but PSR Harry not racing tonight. Does this give Gerbil a massive chance to put his stamp on this Drivers' Championship and potentially put Harry out of reach, or is it still too early to call? And then, of course, following on from that, Liverpool Ewan, we picked up his second podium, only his second podium of the season last week. Your thoughts on that?
So I'll address the Botch Gerbil one first. He's very, very strong on technical tracks. He's also quite strong on, open, wide tracks, the fronts, but very strong on technical tracks. We've seen this several times throughout many seasons here now. So, yeah, it could be that PSR Harry does have some ground to make up after this weekend. And Liverpool Ewan, I mean, coming into the season, favourites for Liverpool Ewan to get the double, or DJ Danny to at least contend for that. And I mean, neither of those drivers have really had the impact that they had last season in the Renault. I don't know if it's the lack of coordination with the team, that maybe they just don't gel as well, or maybe it's just the new game. I couldn't say, but thanks to the fact that they've not been as fast, and I'm enjoying it because they've not been as fast, it's allowed a lot more people to show their pace. And like you said, Raz is on podium number 4 now.
4 out of 5, yep.
And that, if you'd have asked me that last season, if you'd have said, oh, next season, yeah, Raz is going to be on the podium 4 out of 5 races, what are your thoughts? I probably would have said, think again, maybe 1 or 2, but not 4 out of 5. And he's done spectacularly this season, so don't count him out. I'd personally say he's bookies odds to get a podium tonight. But yeah, Liverpool Ewan has really struggled, and I'd like to see him get his form back, but I wouldn't at the same time.
Do you think that's because of the new game? Do you think he's maybe just not been able to pick up the new game as quickly as maybe some of the others have? Maybe like your Botch Gerbils, like your Razas, PSR Harry, and those sort of guys who have really been sort of on form in a way this season?
I mean, at the start of this season, Liverpool Ewan was nowhere to be seen. Then they brought out the performance patch, the handling patch, and he's back at the front of the grid. He's fighting for position up in the podium positions. So maybe it is the game, and early on it very much was the game. And now the patch has come out to make the cars feel a little bit more like last season's cars, last game's cars. Maybe, but again, it's all speculation. Maybe his head's just not in it this season, as drivers can go that way.
Indeed. So whilst we are waiting for the last few people to jump into the lobby and get themselves ready, we'll quickly run through who we've got in what car this evening. We've got one sole Mercedes tonight. We've got Sir Sharks in. We've got IRL Mats and Jamie 29X, the elder statesman of Invictus, we shall call them, in that Red Bull team. FE Mac 27 and DJ Danny in the McLaren. Mac is in the chat saying he's making his debut tonight and he can't wait. We can't wait to see what you can do, my friend. Some Pikachu, a driver that Dom has been very impressed with so far this season in the lone Aston Martin this evening. Ex-HRC and Nathan HRX in the Alpine. Raza and Botch Gerbil are current Constructors' Championship leaders in the Ferrari team. Liverpool Ewan, the aforementioned Liverpool Ewan, and his new teammate Lukey Doo in the AlphaTauri. The first time Dom and I are seeing Lukey Doo this season. Made his debut in Russia, so looking forward to see what he can do. Joey645 in the Alfa Romeo running solo tonight. Shush running solo in the Haas as well. No PSR Harry tonight. And then we've got MCD Coda and PSR Jish, another PSR member in today, making his debut as a reserve driver. So looking forward to seeing what he can do. So with the guys we've got in Dom, I know you did mention that you were very much looking to put Rod for a podium. Who do you think's finishing on that top step before?
Possible. Without a doubt.
There we go, short and sweet from Mr. DomThNoodle. It's what we like to see, and here we go. See Russ 26. For those who watched Invictus last season, that is Stallion W7 under a new gamer tag. That is Stallion from last season using a new gamer tag. He has changed his gamer tag for this game. C Russ 26 is the driver formerly known as Stallion W7. So very much looking forward to that. Just been told by Jamie29X, we've got 3 minutes before we go green here in Hungary. Just quickly replying to a message in the Discord chat.
That is not a problem. I can take the lead. Can I? Let me have a look. What have I got? What have I got information-wise?
I'm sure you've got some interesting stats and facts about this track somewhere in that memory knowledge bank that you have, Mr. DomThNoodle. So go and dig deep in those stats and facts, parts of your brain, and enlighten everyone in the chat about what they can expect to see or what's happened in the past when Invictus have raced here in Hungary.
Well, I mean, if we want to talk about the very, very, very close past at the Hungarian, tonight I'm expecting a Mercedes pile drive down into turn 1 and wipe out 2 Red Bulls. Bottas.
Oh, God.
So, to you Red Bull drivers, best of luck. I wish you the best, and take it easy and stay alive? Question mark?
Question mark?
Anyway, to be fair, no, I mean, this is a great track. It's technical. It's going to bring the best out of the strong drivers, and you're going to see the drivers that are, quali lap pace fast struggle, because this is a track of consistency. I mean, turn 5, people call it Death Corner. It is tough. It is very, very tough. You clip an inside wheel and it is well, I mean, it can be raceable for you, especially on the concrete curb on the inside. And that has thrown a spanner in the works several times before to a lot of drivers in a lot of different leagues. So maybe, just maybe, they have learned their lesson coming into tonight's race. However, I mean, the last time we visited here was on 2021. The last visit was Realistic Performance round 39, season 11. I'm guessing that's not right, so my cheat sheet here is slightly wrong. But the previous top 3 results for F1 were Sir Sharks, Sync Kizuatu. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Kizuato.
That's the one. And F1 Gravity. And in F2, Farfu 11, Brad AFC 2001, and Botch Jib was on that podium too. So again, like I said, strong driver. Don't count him out.
Indeed. You have been able to see now, guys, everyone has readied up. We are about to get started in qualifying. You can finally see some F1 cars go out onto this track here in Budapest. It's nice to be back in an Invictus comps box, I'm not going to lie. Don't get me wrong, I love Andrew, I love Matty, but
we are better.
You can't go any better than the Dream Team. The self-proclaimed Dream Team, we should say. But, I mean, it's Dom and I, and yeah, it is what we do, guys. It is. It's just what we do. We're waiting for Russ to jump into the lobby. selective tyres, and all that jazz, and then we're good. So hopefully everything will hold out and we will be all good. Tiros has left the session, so we'll try and get him in. That is a very, very nice and dry qualifying session. That's what
You know
we
what?
like to see.
That doesn't just look dry. That looks hot. So
It looks very
those
hot.
softs could be screaming at the end of a lap, if not halfway through. Like I said, it is technical, and the majority of the race, the cars will spend on that front left tyre, so it will overheat. As I am personally seeing, the Red Bull of Jimmy 29X coming out of his pit box first. He's been beaten out by what seems to be a Williams of MC Coda, due to them being at the end of the pit lane, them sucking last year in the real F1. So
Now, Dom, be
they
nice.
They did. They did. I'm a Williams fan myself. They did suck.
It has been confirmed. We are dry, Dom. So no wet stuff tonight.
I've got a kind of energy drink. I'm not going to say what energy drink. I don't want to get sued, but I have a can of energy drink in front of me. If I was to miraculously tip that on the circuit, would we get a red flag?
Probably not, no.
Michael Massey's race director, so...
For goodness sake. We are going to ride a ball with MC Decoder. He is our lead car here in qualifying. Coming around this final couple of corners, getting himself ready to start his hot lap. He's on those soft tyres. To be fair, we've got a pretty even split in terms of tyre selections. Obviously, Dom, you are slightly more experienced than I am. In fact, no, you're vastly more experienced than I am in terms of F1 esports racing. Which tyres would you be going on?
I mean, I'd take a set of softs out, do an installation lap just to get some rubber down on the track, come in immediately at the end of that installation lap, strap a set of mediums on, and wait for the track to evolve with some of the other drivers. Leave it till about 11 minutes to go out on those mediums, so 11 minutes remaining. Put in maybe one or two of the fastest possible laps I can, and then after that, if it's still not good enough to keep me, up in the top 10, if it gets me 11th, then I'll take it. As MC Decoder has taken a nice little spin into the off track there. A horrible little spin there. And yeah, if it keeps me P11, I'll start on fresh tires. If it takes me a bit further down, I'll strap the softs on and see how high I can get.
There we go. That is an insight into the mind of DomThNoodle. It's a very, very scary place to be, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me.
It's not somewhere you want to be on a daily basis. It's not somewhere on a daily basis.
Jamie does set the first time of qualifying a 1:16.593. MC Decoder following that spin has hit a 1:31.0.
Yes, 14.42 seconds. Slower than the leader.
Jish is going to be the next one, I think. Unless it's going to be that Alpha. No, it's not going to be the Alpha or Aston. Whichever it was. It is going to be Jish. So we'll see what PSR Jish can do. Run up to the line now. On the medium tyre is Jish. Crosses the line and goes. Provisional.
That's a scary time. And that's even more scary.
There's Nathan HRX with a 15.8. First person to dip into the 15s. Apologies for the slight little glitch that you may have had in the stream there. Oh, Lukey Doo's retired from the session. Have we had our first casualty at turn 5, Dom?
Entrance 2 by the looks of it. Bit squirrely out of turn 4. The sharp left-hander at the top of the hill.
Oh, that's a very interesting place to retire from the session. I'm not sure how he's bounced that far off, but...
So I think what may have happened there is he'd have taken too much curb, over-rotated the car, tried to correct it, but then it's just snapped back on him into the wall. It's easily done. However, something we should be keeping an eye out for tonight, Kieran, is the exit of the corner that Raza actually just invalidated on. If I'm not mistaken, it's turn 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Exit turn 11. There are exploits in the game that allow you to run that curb really, really wide, slightly lift, very, very slightly, and you don't get penalized for it, and you can still carry on that, 180 odd mile an hour speed that you were carrying before. So that is something we will be keeping an eye out for. Track map will show said issue if it arises, so we'll be able to pick it up from there. So yeah, don't try and cheat tonight, guys. It's just not worth your time.
Agreed. Very much agreed. Let's see who we've got on laps. XHRC is on a lap. He's significantly faster than he was last time round. 1:17.098 there for XHRC in the Alpine. But Nathan HRX currently leading the way, the only person so far to dip into that 1:15 mark. MC Dakota is coming out on another outlap, I should say. Just going to quickly jump through. Shush has just started a lap. Liverpool Ewan's just come around turn 1 on the way up to turn 2. So Sharks has just started a lap, as has FE Mac. I think. Oh, someone has gone very sideways. That was XHRC coming out of turn 5. Was one of the corners that you did mention earlier, Dom, as a potential danger area for some of the drivers, shall we say.
Yeah, casualties will be picked up on this track. Turn 4 can pick up casualties, turn 5 can pick up casualties. The S section that the Fluent's in now, if you give it too much of the quote-unquote beans, it is very easy to invalidate or spin the car around. So yeah, that is not something you want to be doing. And the exit of the final corner, it can be quite slippy, and if you're in too low of a gear, you will over-rotate and do a Lance Stroll.
Well, Stroll a la Mexico, for those who are unaware as to what Dom is talking about there. And Shush is going to come across the line now. 1:16.2 for Shush.
And the crowd goes wild. That is a good time for the mediums.
FE Mac comes in with a 6.6. That is P7 for the McLaren driver on debut at the moment. Liverpool Ewan did invalidate his time, so he will have to go again. Raza is just starting a hot lap. MC Dakota is about halfway through his hot lap. I'm wondering whether he potentially may have gone slightly slowly as well.
FE Mac 27 in the McLaren, showing us exactly what it's like to race around the circuit after having done 2 laps on the mediums. I don't know if he's continuing. He does look to be pushing a little bit, but he is also conserving battery, so this may be his in-lap.
Let's see what MC Dakota can do, as he's going to come up to the line now. He is going to improve on his previous time. 1:21.3 as Shush has retired from the session. Out of turn 11, Dom.
Yeah, it is. Oh, okay. I did sort of undersell that corner as a casualty corner. The curbs are slippy. It is basically just a wet part of the track, even when it's dry. It is very, very slippy out there, and you do not want to be putting the power down too early, as Liverpool Ewan makes me eat my words. 15.072.
That is fast.
If this is what I've got to do to get results out of a driver, I'm just going to start, shredding through drivers weekly. Might have a different driver on the podium every week.
Yeah. Well, you heard it first from Dom. Invictus drivers, get ready to be shredded by Dom if he doesn't think you're performing, boys.
Don't worry. It's all in I'd say in humour, but I mean, if you're bad, you're bad. No, I'm kidding. We respect you all. You're all great drivers, and you can all lap us both within 3 laps.
I was about to say, they can definitely blow past me. They They can definitely blow past me within about 3 laps, maybe even less than that. So they have my ultimate respect. Got a little bit of traffic coming around turn 13 there. I guess this driver's potentially trying to make some space for one another.
Who are you? What car are you in? Oh,
Here is
I
Raza
really
coming
hope
up
that
to
this
turn
man
13.
is on fresh softs, because if he is on fresh softs, he is getting the toe of a lifetime from Botch Gerbil. MCV Coda is about, I mean, the air density
Raza!
down here.
Half a second faster than Nathan. That's Raza with a 1:15.312. Quickly jump down to MCD Coda.
Yeah, the air is quite thick here. It's not as thick as it would be in somewhere, say Monaco, but it's nowhere near as thin as Mexico or Brazil. The toe is roughly the gap to Botch Gerbil here, as Botch Gerbil is on a fresh set of softs himself and is going to put himself
P2.
P2, 98 thousandths off of the provisional pole time.
And Coda goes P5.
Yeah, the toe really does help, and I'm really hoping that those softs are fresh. If not,
He's just starting a lap. It's Nathan. Nathan's coming around the corner, but he is significantly slower on his lap, so he will be coming into the pits. Who else have we got around? Raza, I think, is going to be on an in lap. But I think Joey behind him. Is Joey on an in lap?
yeah, he's got way too much ERS.
Yeah, he is going to come in as well.
Oh, IRL Matt's taking the scenic route down at the chicane.
Turn 6, turn 7.
Yes, indeed he is. That is very, very scenic indeed. In fact, so scenic he was almost giving the marshals on the poster kiss.
Oh dear, Dom. Boss Gerbo is definitely going to be coming in. DJ Danny has invalidated his lap, so he will be coming in. Mac
FE
is
Mac
still valid.
is on a lap, and he seemed to be a lot further up in his time than he previously was. I'm not quite sure it's going to put him just yet. It puts him P5.
P5.
4.5 tenths off of provisional pole. That is not an easy feat to do with Liverpool Ewan at the wheel.
It's not indeed. Just trying to work out who is around. Still 2 set laps. Some people in the pits, as is C. Russ. Liverpool Ewan just starting a lap. And Jamie and XHRC are both on out laps. So, over to Mr. Liverpool Ewan we go. And as he approaches turn 4, hopefully board with Liverpool Ewan.
Not just yet, but I can be. I am.
In fact, what we will actually do is I'll let you talk everyone through a lap with XHRC when he crosses the line and starts his lap, because at least then you can give everyone a talk for the entirety of the lap. Right, I'm going to go on board with XHRC, providing he doesn't come into the pits, and he is not going to come into the pits. So we're going to go on and on board with XHRC, and we're going to let DomThNoodle talk you through a lap. Over to you, Dom.
Thank you very much, Kieran. All the way up to a possible 195, 200 down, all the way to first, second gear, depending on how much rotation you want back up. Quick shift into fourth out of turn 1. The kink that is classed as 1A down into a long hairpin of turn 2. That is surprisingly hard to navigate. Turn 3 is
Maybe we shouldn't have gone on board with XHRC. Let's quickly jump on with MCD Coda and let you finish off the lap.
Yes, so turn 4, that kink where we lost Lukey Doo. Unfortunately, turn 5, the dreaded death corner. You touch that inside curb and you will spin. Turn 6 and 7, very, very, very tight chicane. Tighter than some in most tracks. Turn 8, 9, and I mean, you can technically class 10 and 11 in that fast-ish pace S section, almost similar to that of Maggots and Beckett's or the first sector at Kota, then the rest of the track is very much a snaky, you know, quick acceleration. You've got to be really good on the traction. Turn 13 now, turn 14, wide entry, narrowly clipping the inside curb. Outside curb, not enough of it personally for me, but it didn't move him this time. But
No, that's because it was an outlap, Dom.
there you go then. But
That's because it was his outlap.
But yeah, he's he's shown off really well there. Exactly how you can do. I mean, we did lose. I don't know if you're still on board with him, but I mean, we did lose XHRC at this corner. You know, right amount of curb on either side is what will get you through and up the hill. Clipping the outside, clipping the inside, hugging the outside again. Will taking risks, hitting that inside curb.
Raza is coming up to the line now. What's Raza going to do? It's going to be a slight improvement for Raza. Doesn't change his position though. He remains P3, but he has now set himself a 1:15.237. But we are into the final 2 minutes of this qualifying session now here in Hungary. Liverpool Ewan does still lead the way with a 1:15.072. About a tenth of a second faster than Botched Gerbil, who I should say is on a lap. He's just come around turn 5. Oh, a little snaky there from Botched Gerbil on the exit of turn 5 into turn 6, turn 7. You can see just how high speed that chicane actually is from that camera view. We'll stay with Botched Gerbil. There are drivers ahead, but obviously this is going to be a battle for pole position. Hopefully he's not going to get stuck in too much traffic and stays valid. He does indeed. He's marginally down on his time though. So we'll see if Botched Gerbil can potentially piece together a fantastic final sector here and see if he can dethrone Liverpool Ewan from that provisional pole position. He comes around that final corner now onto the power. You don't want to go too early onto the power. And it's 9 thousandths slower for Botched Gerbil. He remains P2, 40 seconds left in the session. Everyone is pretty much out on track. Trying to see who we've got, who is the furthest ahead. I think it's going to be Matt. No, it's Jamie. If Jamie doesn't improve, he's a second and a half down, but he will have a chance to go again. He can go back-to-back laps. He's going to try and see if he can do that. 20 seconds left. Guys that are on outlaps are really going to want to try and get there quickly. Some Pikachu has spun in the pit lane. And Effie Mac has retired in the pits. Some Pikachu with very, very warm tyres. Vinny Cousin has just been able to get himself in. I don't know whether he's going to have enough time to pick a car though. Hopefully he can pick a car in time. If he can, he will be able to join the session. But I haven't seen him hit the timing screen, so I don't think he's going to be in. There is Liverpool Ewan. Raza retires in the pits. Botched Gerbil is coming in. Where's Joey? Joey is coming into the pits as well. IRL Mats is going to come around the final corner now on the push up to the line now. Does Mats improve? Mats does improve. He goes up to P8. Fantastic lap time there from IRL Mats. Jamie is about half a second up on his time as well. He's going to come around the final corner now. Currently, it can Jamie 29X get himself up into the top 10. No, he just misses out. It's P11 for Jamie. A 1:16.099 there for Jamie 29X. As Liverpool Ewan improved by even more. A 1:14.9 from Liverpool Ewan. That is your new provisional pole time. I'm going to see who we've got around Sir Sharks. Hadn't set a lap yet.
No, but he is
on
a
one and only
steamroller.
lap.
P13.
1:16.8 for
He lost
Sir
a bit
Sharks.
out of the final sector. He was a bit squirrely. Not too sure what Sun Pikachu was doing on his outlap. Seemed to be very, very slow. Couldn't keep the car straight at all. It looked like he was running 1-1 wings or something. I don't know what he was doing. But didn't quite seem right.
We missed a slight improvement on time. We missed a couple of improvements on time. PSR Jish gets himself on the front row on debut here in Invictus. He will be joining Liverpool Ewan on that front row. DJ Danny improved ahead of Raza as well. So he's got himself up into P4. And that is going to bring us to the end of qualifying here in Hungary.
Indeed, it is, and I do have some interesting facts tonight after you run through our grid.
Here is our grid order for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is Liverpool Ewan in the Alpha Tauri on pole position. 0.105 separates him and Jish, who will join him on the front row. Bosch Gerbil in third, DJ Danny fourth, Raza fifth, MC Decoder in sixth, Mac on debut in seventh, Mats in eighth, Nathan HRX up into the top 10 in ninth, Joey in 10th, Jamie, Shush, Sir Sharks, XHRC, Sun Pikachu, C-Russ and Lukey Doo. The last three not able to set lap times. I don't think we're going to have Vinny Cousin, unfortunately. Max in the chat saying I was 5/10 up. Oh, Mac. Unlucky, bud. Unlucky, my friend. But you say you got some interesting facts and stacks, Dom. I will pass over to you before we do your favourite part of any Invictus stream.
Yes, so unfortunately, coming into this race, Nathan HRX does continue to hold the record of the most races without a podium result. And PSR Harry, as you know, has 4 wins this season. And if he can get a 5th at some point this season, unfortunately it won't be tonight, he will be tied with Liverpool for the most F1 wins in a season. Liverpool U1 with 5 in season 12. I really messed that up. But as soon as the red lights go out here tonight, both DJ Danny and Raza will be making a milestone in their career here at IRL. DJ Danny will be making his 40th start in the race tonight, and Raza will be making his 20th start in this league, not including realistic, I don't think. Not been given any indication that it's for realistic.
No, it'll be F1, so it's Xbox F1, so it's in this league. It's equal performance.
So I was right. So yeah, they're making 40th and 20th appearances. DJ Danny being here twice the time of Raza, and Raza, what seems to be, I'm gonna butcher this if I don't check the standings. Raza is actually has been here half the time, but is doing more than enough effort to keep himself ahead of someone that's been here for what we would call seasoned.
Indeed, he is. Now, is there anything else that you need to mention, Dom, or are you handing over to me for your favourite part of any Invictus stream?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, pay very close attention to what Kieran Wright 92 is about to say, because it is all very important, and whatever he says, please do. Now, Kieran,
it is plug
time
time.
for you to fill the sink.
It is plug time. Dom has put the plug into the sink. It's now up to me to fill it. Here at Invictus, we stream 4 days a week on either Twitch or YouTube. Monday nights, 8 PM, Weber Red 5 and Lightning take you through the action in PlayStation F1 on the YouTube channel. On a Tuesday night, it is myself and Dom, or myself and Andrew, or myself and Matty, or Dom and Andrew, or Dom and Matty, or Andrew and Matty, taking you through the action on Xbox F1 here on the Twitch channel. At the same time as us, you have Malk and Livingwall that take you through the action in PlayStation F2. On a Wednesday night, we head over to PlayStation F3, hosted by JPH on the YouTube channel, and the second dream team of Invictus. If you haven't watched one of these guys' streams, guys, please go onto the YouTube channel and watch one of the PC F1 streams. Cam and Fozzy are so good at what they do. They have their own graphics, they have everything set up. It's such a professional setup that those guys have there on the PC side of things. It is definitely worth a watch. And then Thursday, we move from equal to realistic. Unfortunately, no Xbox realistic this season. So it's just the PlayStation. Tim and Malk will take you through the action there over on YouTube. In terms of social medias and anything like that involved in Invictus, if you do want to watch any Invictus races back, all of the races get uploaded to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL. If you want to go follow us on Instagram and get involved in the conversation, at InvictusRL for the main Invictus account, at InvictusRL_Xbox for the Xbox specific side of things. And of course, use that hashtag InvictusRL to join the conversation. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Invictus Racing League. And if you are watching the stream and you want to get involved, you want to come and tangle with the big boys here in IRL Xbox, InvictusRacingLeague.com is the place to go. As we get to say, oh no, my shoes! And we see what everyone's on. And, oh, Dom, we've got a couple of guys on hard. Vinny Cousin did get in time, Dom. He was able to select his car in time, so we have got 18 taking us through tonight's race.
I call that luck. I do call that luck. That is very, very lucky. Great plug there, Kieran. Sync may be overflowing a little bit. However, I will say to you guys in the chat or in the YouTube after this is posted up there, please, please, please go and follow everything that Kieran just mentioned, because otherwise I will come and steal your internet.
Okay, that's a very interesting threat there from DomThNoodle, but top 10 all on softs. Jamie, Shush, XHRC, Sun Pikachu, and Lukey all on the mediums. C-Ross, formerly known as Stallion, opting to go onto the soft tire, Dom. And then we have Sir Sharks and Vinny Cousin on the hards. It's going to be an interesting set of strategies tonight.
Did you say C-Ross is on the softs?
I've got C-Ross on the softs.
I've got C-Ross on the mediums. Now I'm just going to go down to check to see what is actually on that car.
I have softs.
I have mediums attached to that car.
This is strange.
I've got softs from P1 to 10. Medium, medium, hard, medium all the way to the bottom, apart from Vinny Cousin, who's on hard.
Interesting. So we're the same apart from C-Ross, who on my side is showing us softs. But this is the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and Gridfinder.com. We're about to go racing here in Hungary. We are just waiting for those world famous 5 red lights. Just waiting for the last couple of cars to jump into their grid positions. Just wait for C-Ross. I think he is the last person to jump in. He is indeed. Let's try and get ourselves a good view. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. We're going to with DJ Danny on the start. Liverpool U gets off to a fantastic start. So does Danny. Danny's going to try and squeeze up through the middle of Bot Gerbil and PSR Jish. Who's going to be braver out of these three going into turn 1? Jish has got the inside line. Can Danny make the move? He can't make the move. Bot Gerbil stays where he is. Bot Gerbil gets a fantastic exit and gets the move on Jish. Bot Gerbil back up into second place. Jish trying to defend from DJ Danny. DJ Danny still going around the outside of turn 2. Can he get the inside line into turn 3? He does get the inside line into turn 3. Jish gets pushed down into P4. Liverpool Ewan still does lead the way though. Coming up through turn 4 now. Massive slide there by Boss Gerbil. He holds it very, very well. DJ Danny could potentially take advantage of this. Liverpool Ewan has been able to get a significant lead now into Sector 1 as these guys are now starting to form up. Dom, have you got anything to comment from the back of the grid?
Yeah, 4 wide in the midfield. I'd say P11 to P14, all into turn 1. What an amazing attempt that was. MC Dakota did lose it on the exit of turn 4, and now has to come back to the pits very, very slowly to replace that front wing that he oh so much needs. XHLC also took a spin out of turn 1, but as Vinny Cousin has spun. But yeah, XHRC had a spin at turn 1, but has managed to get himself back towards the mid-pack. Shush coming into the pits as well. Again, I'll update you on that when I know what he is coming into the pits for. It was a very, very great start from the back, and I thank the Mercedes drivers for not ploughing into the back of the Red Bulls.
Indeed, Vinny has gone round again. He's going to try and nurse that car back up to temperature. So we're quickly going to look at the biggest winners and losers from that race start. And it's Lukey Doo that is the biggest winner. Tied with Sun Pikachu, both up 4 places. Sir Sharks and Joey up 3. Jamie up 2. Along with Vinny Cousin. And then C. Russ, Nathan, Effie Mac, DJ Danny and Botch Gerbil are all up 1 place. Biggest loser is, unfortunately, MC Decoder. who has dropped 12 places, Dom, from that spin at turn 4.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be made up so easy. The right pits, the right safety car at the right time could save these guys a lot of hassle. Vinny Cousins still seems to be going. I don't see any damage on that Mercedes at all. He is going slightly slowly.
Yeah, I think he's done well to keep it out of a wall. Potentially just trying to deal with some warm tyres, so maybe just trying to cool them down. But obviously, I'll let you keep an eye on that. We are now on lap 3, so DRS has been enabled. So you can activate that DRS if you are within a second of the car in front of you and in that DRS activation zone.
Yeah, Lukidu is currently hunting down the IRL Mats. AlphaTauri on the Red Bull. This could get tense. The gap is staying roughly the same. You can tell where certain drivers have gone, certain setups. I think this is possibly one of the very few leagues where I think every driver comes into every race with a different setup. So, big bonus to them guys for all being unique. IRL Mats has also slightly closed the gap on Sun Pikachu, but those softs are softs in comparison to the mediums. So, again...
Listen on Joey, he thought about it. Nathan did have a little think about a potential move on Joey there for P7. I think he's just going to try and stick behind him as best as he can and maybe use that DRS on that main straight. I will quickly cut. Dom, how powerful is that DRS down that straight here at Hungary?
It can be very, very powerful. If you get the toe at the right time and you're on the right tyres, yeah, it can be surprisingly powerful. And I think Lukidu has it. IRL Mats doesn't. He's closed the gap up. Is he going to go for the move as it is a double DRS zone into turn 2? He's not. He didn't get the traction that he would have wanted. Sun Pikachu is also closing the gap up even more on Sir Sharks. It was 5.5 tenths at the start line. It is now 3 tenths into turn 4.
Is indeed. I'm going to quickly jump up to Effie Mack in the McLaren. He's trying to hunt down Raza, who I think he wouldn't be too upset if we were to say is the man on form. Here in Invictus, obviously 4 podiums in his last 5 races. For the second of the 2 Ferrari drivers, of course, his teammate Botch Gerbil, just 3 cars ahead of him as Mats picks up the first time penalty. So if you have IRL Mats in your first penalty sweepstakes, congratulations, you are a winner. As the admin picks up the first time penalty, and Botch Gerbil could potentially be lining up a move for the lead here around Liverpool Ewan. Ewan's going to try and stick it in as best as he can. Of course, it is that double activation zone, as Dom did previously mention, and that does give Botch Gerbil the ability to pull away. Now DJ Danny up the inside of Ewan! And what a move by Danny! Can Ewan stick it in there? He does still stay there. We're going to watch from the rear. Gerbil, this is going to be the best place to watch this battle unfold between the 2 teammates from last season. They were in the Renault last season. This season, they are rivals. DJ Danny in the McLaren, Liverpool Ewan in the AlphaTauri. Danny comes out on top with this battle, and the leader has dropped 2 places within the first sector, Dom.
Yeah, it can be a brutal first sector here at Hungary. And Jamie29X also, at the exact same time that DJ Danny decided he wanted to try and make a move on Liverpool Ewan, decided he wanted to make a move on Joey, and they came very close. I think Jamie just put the power down a bit too early and like sort of half spun it, and it's cost him a little bit. But I mean, the DRS train is still there, so I mean the only move you're really going to be looking at making is never mind. Jamie29X is round in the wall. Sir Sharks doesn't have DRS.
There's end plate damage on that Red Bull, so Jamie is going to come into the pits.
Sun Pikachu, dive bomb, and he's got it. That is a spectacular move. Does he get the traction? He does. He's also got the DRS to help defend against Sir Sharks going down into turn 2, and the gap is just insanely easy to make there. What a move, makes me proud. now on the hunt for Joey.
He is indeed, and whilst you were commenting on that, Raza has made a move on PSR Jish for P4, Dom. So a bit of work for the Williams driver to do now to try and catch back up to the rear of that Ferrari. He is still within touch, potentially see him move, but of course this could also be double jeopardy for Raza, because he could lose 2 positions in very, very quick succession, as FE Mac is very, very close to that rear wing of Jish. Someone else who's close to the rear wing of someone is Sun Pikachu, who's going to... had a little thought about a move up the inside of Joey going into turn 12. Thought against it in the end. Round turn 13 they come now.
He just doesn't have the traction.
Liverpool Ewan comes to Dom. Quite an early pit stop, I think, for Liverpool
and that is an easy run there. That is an easy one there for Sun Pikachu. Sorry, he has made that a very, very, very easy decision there, just to send it up the inside. Sharks has made a move too. And I think Sharks also has the RS to defend.
He does. He does indeed. Of course, it is that double, as we did mention earlier on. Single detection, double activation zone here in Hungary. One of, I think, only 2 or 3 tracks on the calendar that actually have a double activation zone. I don't think if I can think of any others top of my head that do. Canada. I think that's it.
Australia.
I think it was just here. Does Australia have one?
Australia does.
Australia did.
Main straight and the second straight.
Of course it does. So there you go, 4 tracks on the calendar that have those double activation zones. So you can see it's not a regular thing to have in the world of Formula 1, but you can see how powerful they can be.
Joey has lost a lot of confidence in himself over the last lap after being overtaken by... Oh, there he goes. That's why. The softs are gone for him, and IRL Mats is deciding to stay out, and that is going to break his heart. Joey, 5 seconds speed
ahead of Nathan.
Round the outside or up the inside?
No, it's up the inside into turn 1.
My guy drives like me.
I mean, I did say you have a soft spot for him, and it's proven there with what Dom said, referring to some Pikachu, as his guy. And,
not allowed to make bets on him.
Come on to Hearts.
Not allowed to make bets on him.
Should have mentioned that Liverpool Ewing did come into the pit for a set of hard tyres. Box Gerbil does lead the way, just over a second, separating himself and DJ Danny, with Raza just behind him in 3rd. Could be another double Ferrari podium. There's been a couple of those this season.
Yeah, they have.
Of course, we are still in the very, very early stages.
I mean, we are, but we're not. I mean, we've beaten the halfway mark, so it is the closing end of the season now.
I was on about in the race, though. Danny comes into the pits. Liverpool Ewan's made a move on C. Ross as well, who has disconnected. C. Ross not in the session, from what I can see. A lot of cars now coming into the pits. Danny's put the hard tyres on. The double stack from the McLaren team as well. That's really hurt FE Mac. He's going to drop all the way down now to P12. Maybe, could even be worse than that. Does Shush jump FE Mac? He does indeed, so Shush jumps them. Shush up into P12. FE Mac drops down to P13 now, following the McLaren double stack there. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. I'm not sure what that's about. Can't see anyone going slowly.
It was just the AlphaTauri of Liverpool Ewan seemed to be going slow.
There's no damage on that AlphaTauri, so I think it was maybe just him going bases and be a little bit safer. As Jamie now picks up a time penalty.
The Ferrari boys are in a bit of a conundrum here. Botchable has to come into the pits this lap as the lead driver. Now did Raza stayed out, but I personally would have preferred to just back off a little bit. Max has gone in as well. He's realised he's taking a lot of time to drive behind.
Coming too.
This makes Sun Pikachu provisional race leader.
Yeah, some Pikachu hasn't pitted yet, but of course he has started on those medium tyres, so won't need to pit for a while. And what sort of lap time are you looking at potentially for these guys on mediums, Dom?
Lap times on mediums.
I mean, in terms of the pit.
Oh, in terms of 15 maybe, 15, 16.
When you can see just how much that tyre wear is affecting Raza, you can see how quickly some Pikachus close up to the back of that Ferrari, and we're going to jump on board with some Pikachu now as he comes through the S's of 8, 9. Here is 10, and then into 11 they come now, and look how much he closed. That closing speed is insane from some Pikachu. He's just going to sit behind Raza. He knows he doesn't need to make the move. He knows Raza's going to be coming into the pits. You can see how much those soft tyres are falling off of that Ferrari. So expect to see Raza stick to the right. He does indeed. So that is, as Dom mentioned, going to give some Pikachu net race lead. Where is
DRS?
Where is Botch Gerbil? Here is Botch Gerbil coming around the final corner now. I think he is going to jump his teammate. He's definitely going to jump his teammate because Raza's only just getting his tyres changed now. DJ Danny also jumps. Does Liverpool Ewan jump Raza though? We're watching it now. Liverpool Ewan does jump Raza.
Raza's dropped a lot of positions, all the way down to P11. And there's not many people in this race so far. That is...
Get a flag, someone's round.
Lukey Doo. He's now been passed by his teammate. He is very much backwards. He's been disqualified for going the wrong way.
He's been disqualified because he was driving the wrong way. He was trying to find a little area where he was going to be able to safely move himself into the right direction and wasn't able to do it. Just kept rolling forward for too long, and the game has disqualified Lukey Doo. So we've had our first casualty of the session. It's not a crash. It was someone driving action following a spin, which is less than ideal. DJ Danny is trying to hunt down Botched Gerbil for P4. Of course, these guys have both pit now. Oh, we've got a yellow flag in sector 2-3. It's Mats.
Oh, Mats, who has no front wing anymore.
Ooh, that's not going to help Mats. He's just pitted as well. That's really not going to help Mats. He's just come in. He's going to have to come. He's just come out of the pits. He's going to have to go back in now.
I mean, he doesn't have to, but he will be very, very slow.
Dom, I think you know as well as I do that having no front wing, especially a track like here, is quite suicidal.
Yes, it is. Driving without a front wing anyway is ridiculously hard to do. However, driving without a front wing in, or parts of your front wing missing in F2 is surprisingly quite easy.
Jish and Siras battling with one another as Jamie has returned. Oh, Jamie! Out of turn. Safety car! Full course safety car. Was that out of... Is that out of
that has
turn
come
2?
out.
That's
it
out
is.
of turn 2. Is the game going to let Mats overtake the safety car? It is indeed going to let Mats overtake the safety car. That was... That's a very, very
around to the front three.
Yeah, but it's a very strange place to lose
is free,
the
though.
car.
How free is free? Sun Pikachu is one position, 2 positions. Does not lose a 3rd position. He stays P3. The man is on for a podium.
He is at the moment. Joey! Oh, Joey. Picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Didn't keep an eye on that delta. And it has affected him. So we are on lap 13 of 35 here in the Xbox IRL F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and GridFinder.com. We are under a safety car here at the Hungaroring following the unfortunate crash and DNF of Jamie 29X in the Red Bull. Botch Gerbil, current championship leader, does lead the way. DJ Danny, season's one half of last season's Constructors Champions, as Joey has also retired from the session. I think Joey may have had a crash out of turn 5.
He has, under a safety car as well. That's tough.
Which hopefully we'll see if Joey's car stays long enough for MC Dakota to catch it up, just so we can see where it was, and then we just lose it as MC Dakota comes up to turn 5. But it is Botch Gerbil, which is this season's current Drivers' Championship leader, leading the race here. One half of last season's Constructors Champions, DJ Danny, in second place. Some Pikachu in third for the Aston Martin team. Sir Sharks is in fourth. XHRC is in fifth. Razar is in sixth. FE Mac on debut is on seventh. Nathan HRX is in eighth. Vinny Cousin ninth. And last season's Drivers' Champion, Liverpool Ewan, currently rounds out your top 10 with PSR Gish Shush. Zeros 26, who I believe is disconnected and isn't actually in the session. MC Dakota and IRL manned out your grid. So 15 drivers. Started with 18, up to 15. Vinny Cousin hasn't pitted yet, Dom. He's up in P9, having started at the back of the grid. Why do you think it is that he's not come into the pit yet? Obviously, we know he's on the hard tyre, so he can go longer than everyone else, but surely under a safety car, you'd take the free pit stop and go on the mediums.
I mean, you have to. They may not last till the end, but you do have to pit. Like, this is going to cost Vinny Cousin big time. I don't think he's quite thought his strategy through here, and it would be nice to hear his insights after this. So maybe we can get someone who does, press conferences and stuff to maybe just ask Vinny Cousin that question, what the strategy idea was on the hards.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Not sure why Finns has just joined a lobby. It just dropped Finns. There we go. He's now just left the session. That was an interesting one.
We'll drop him a message post-race, it's fine.
So, we're not
It's
coming
okay.
in yet. He's okay.
He's okay.
Coming round at the end of lap 14. The safety car is potentially going to come in at the end of lap 15. It's Jish. Shush, actually. He's coming to the pits. Vinny has stayed out still. Does not come into the pits. Has Shush come in for damage?
I don't think he has.
I'm going to have a quick look.
He hasn't. He's come in for the hards. Those hards can go to the end from this lap exactly.
So there we go. He's timed that to perfection. Botch Gerbil doesn't want to get too close to that safety car, though.
He's now going to have to catch back up to the pack, which is going to heat those tyres up anyway. If he drops back just a little bit, which I don't think he's going to do, but if he was to drop back just a little bit, he could full send it and, keep those tyres warm for the start of the rest of the race.
Indeed. So the field has now bunched itself back up, so expect to see a come in at the end of this lap. We are going to go back under green flag conditions at the start of lap 16 of 35 here at the Hungaroring. When does Vinny Cousin come into the pits, though? That is the question Dom and I are asking. We know that the one-stop strategy, if he was going to come in, it'd be about, lap 20, is it, Dom? For about 15 laps on the mediums?
Yeah. You'd have to come in about lap 20, 21 if you really wanted to optimize those mediums.
We are about to go racing here again in Hungary. Or could Vinny Cousin be looking for a hard strategy Botch Gerbil is going to wait until the exit of the final corner before he goes. DJ Danny read it very, very well. He is going to get the run on Botch Gerbil for the lead. As we go back under green flag conditions, he's going to do what he's going to try and do around the outside of the Ferrari. Ferrari tries to stay in his position as best as he can. He does do that. No DRS, of course, so this is going to be done on pure power and that ERS battery. Botch Gerbil going a little bit wide into turn 2 there, but he's still able to hold on to the lead. DJ Danny's really starting to try and close up that gap to Botch Gerbil. Has a little look, goes to move into turn 4. Is he going to try and see if he can just hang out the inside around turn 5? He does not. He pulls away just to make sure that he's not stuck in that dirty air around that horrible corner of turn 5. Botch Gerbil does still lead. Not sure if there has been any change in position. In fact, I can see one for definite. Vinny Cousin has been jumped by Liverpool. Liverpool are now up into P9, Dom.
Yeah, fresh mediums against almost end-of-life softs is...
Soft, hard.
Yeah, end-of-life hards is, well, I mean, the viewers can do the math themselves.
Ooh,
new versus old.
Nathan.
Fast versus slow. Sir Sharks is struggling to keep it in a straight line behind Sun Pikachu, and to make matters worse, struggling to keep it on the track behind Sun Pikachu. Doesn't manage to get the move done, but he will more than likely, unless he can conserve those tyres Perez style, have to pit before the end of the race.
Let's see if you can channel his inner Sergio Perez. PSR Jish gets ahead of Vinny Cousin as well, so it's Jish now up into P10, trying to hunt down Nathan HRX now for that 9th spot in the field, but it is Botch Gerbil that still leads now after that first lap, after the safety car restart. The only real change we've had at the top is Sir Sharks has made that move on Sun Pikachu now, so Sir Sharks is back up, or is up, sorry, into 3rd place. Sun Pikachu drops down to 4th, XHRC in 5th, Raza in 6th, 7th, Ewan 8th, Nathan 9th, and Jish in 10th. See how close Ewan is for a move. Go on, Dom.
And Sir Sharks really hasn't been able to drop Sun Pikachu as fast as he would have liked to, with a, I believe, 3-second time penalty to add salt to the wound.
It is indeed 3 seconds for him and 3 seconds for Matt.
So that's really going to affect him come the end of the race. In fact, if anything, he's really holding Sun Pikachu up here, which could be a plan if his teammate was close enough to do some damage and was on clean tyres, but he's not on either of the two requirements there for it to be a great strategy. So what he's doing, I haven't quite figured out yet, but at some point he is going to release Sun Pikachu. And
Vinny Cousins round! Potentially a little bit of contact from Shush there as Shush attempted the overtake. Sent Vinny into a bit of a spin, so Vinny's right the way down now into P15 as Shush is gone! Shush is out! Round turn 4, Shush got a little squirrely. That's another safety car. Surely now, Dom, Vinny comes in. Surely now.
He's got to, and you know what? I would be very surprised
Softs?
to see... not softs. There was still about 15 laps out from the end of the race when you include safety car, but I'll be very surprised if people don't have a spare set of mediums in the reserve to use for this scenario.
We shall see. What does Botch Gerbil do? Does he come in? No! He thought about it and decided against it. DJ Danny has come in though. Sir Sharks has stayed out. Sun Pikachu has stayed out. XHRC has stayed out. Raz has stayed out. Max stayed out. Nathan's come in. Ewan has stayed out. Jish has come in. Mats has come in. Koda's come in. Cirrus's AI is staying out. And Vinny Cousin has come in.
Mediums all around. It's got to be.
We're going to see, what does Vinny put on? Vinny puts medium tyres on. So there's mediums for everyone that has just come into the pits now. It's an interesting move by Botch Gerbil. He did fake to go into the pits, and at that last second pulled himself away.
Maybe that's what sent DJ Danny in. If Botch Gerbil, threatened to do that pit stop, and DJ Danny's followed it and put too much power down to go in early, he can't then cross that white line again, so he has to commit to that pit stop.
It does indeed. But at the moment, it is Botch Gerbil that leads. Sir Sharks is in second place with Sun Pikachu in third. XHRC fourth, Raza in fifth, Mac sixth, Liverpool Ewan in seventh, Jish in eighth, C-Ross's AI'd car in ninth, so that will not count. So DJ Danny will be promoted to P9. Nathan HRX will then take 10th spot. Matt would be net P11, Koda net P12, Vinny Cousin net P13, and C-Ross would drop down to P14. Botch Gerbil is getting very Lewis Hamilton-like behind Bernd Mylander's safety car here. There's been a couple of occasions, especially around turn 13, where Botch Gerbil's got very, very close to making contact with Bernd Mylander's safety car, Dom, and I believe in this game, is it a penalty or is it a disqualification for the safety car?
I don't know, but the safety bit Mylander seems to be pretty aggressive in the game. I mean, you go on YouTube, 5 minutes of videos, and you'll see exactly as to why I say he's quite dangerous. The amount of times he's wiped drivers out, but I think it's a penalty. I don't think it's disqualification. I do think it is a penalty. At the minimum, it's the penalty of losing a front wing, because that is a solid GT car.
There we go. So the field is pretty much bunched up now.
I don't think it even got underway. I don't even think we had to worry about a bunch up issue. The race really didn't get restarted that fast.
No, I think we only did what? We went green again lap 16. I think the safety car came out lap 17, lap 18. I think it was lap 18. So we only really did 2 laps of racing. So 18, 9, so we've done 19, 20. Could come in this lap. More likely going to be next lap though, but we'll see. No, it's going to be this lap. We are going to go racing again here in Hungary. Going to go back onto green flag conditions. Botch Gerbil now with Sir Sharks behind him rather than DJ Danny. Again, paces the field in Sector 3. He decides when he goes. If you're Botch Gerbil, Dom, when do you go? He went on the exit of the last corner last time. When does he go?
Now. Immediately. He hasn't, though. He's gone now, though. He's going to learn my preference.
Exact same place he did it last time. Exact same place he did it last time. He's going to come under pressure from Sir Sharks this time. 2 safety car restarts from Botch Gerbil. The same result, potentially losing the lead into turn 1. Holds on for now. Sir Sharks is still there, though. Can he make that move on the Ferrari? He's going to look down the inside, decides against it. Botch Gerbil still leads into turn 2. DJ Danny and Jish swapping positions, swapping back and swapping back again. DJ Danny has taken P8 now, as MTD Coda passes the AI'd car of Cirrus 26 as well. Botch Gerbil does still lead though, following that safety car restart done.
He does, and he is very, very lucky to keep that position. Sir Sharks deserve that way more than he does right now. It was a great restart from Sir Sharks. Read him like a book, opened the pages, just scanned the lines, knew exactly what was going on, and acted on it very, very well. And it's showing. I mean, he's still very close and within attacking range within the next couple of laps.
He's indeed someone who is within attacking range now. Is DJ Danny looking to try and make a move on his teammate for the night, FE Matt. We've got a yellow flag. Someone's gone. It's Mats. Mats is out of turn 13. He's hit the wall, we're assuming. And DJ Danny does make that move on Mac.
Visual.
VSC has come out because of IRL Mats' stricken car. It has now been removed, so we should go back under green flag conditions pretty quickly. But of course, you have to keep yourselves under that delta. Are we going to go green? Are we going to go green? When do we go green? XHRC is just trying and waiting for the perfect moment to try and get a jump on some Pikachu on the green flag resumption of this race. Still under the safety car. Or this virtual safety car, sorry. Still under this virtual safety car, which is for quite some time, Dom.
Yeah, almost.
The issue's been cleared.
I mean, where did we lose him? Exit turn 2, yeah?
Exit turn 13. No, Matt died at the end. Hit the wall at the end of
exit turn 13.
Then.
Yeah, this is
pretty much where the leaders are passing now. This was where Matt crashed. We're now under green flag conditions, and that has helped Botch Gerbil massively, because he was already halfway around that final corner when the green flag started waving. So he's been able to accelerate as soon as we got to green flag. And Sir Sharks still having to make that final turn, and that's why Sir Sharks is now 7.5 tenths behind Botched Gerbil in the Ferrari. The XHRC is going to make a move on Raza. Raza loses 2 positions in very quick succession as Liverpool Ewan goes round him as well. That's Raza down from P4 to P6 in the space of 2 turns, Dom.
Easily done, unfortunately. Sir Sharks have picked up another penalty. This is going to hamper the rest of his race big time. As a driver, you want to stay where you are, get the highest possible points. But as a decent human being, you know you need to get out of the way. Let the drivers who are actually competing for those positions compete for those positions. So it'll be interesting to see if Sun Pikachu can catch him, if he lets him past, or if he actually tries to fight it.
I suppose from Sir Sharks' point of view, he wants to try and get himself as close to Botched Gerbil as he can, and maybe work together with the Ferrari driver to try and bridge a gap between Sun Pikachu and the rest of the field. Or between himself, sorry, and Sun Pikachu and the rest of the field. The gap is 7 tenths at the moment. It's sort of lingering around that 7 tenths mark, but Sun Pikachu is about a similar sort of distance back to Sir Sharks. As Liverpool Ewan makes a move on XHRC, and DJ Danny's dropped down a position versus Raza. Raza, I think, regained the position. Maybe Danny took it on the straight, and Raza's been able to re-obtain the position back from the McLaren driver, but it is still Botched Gerbil. Sir Sharks is starting to close that gap though, Dom. It's now about 6 tenths, and the gap between Sir Sharks and Sun Pikachu has stayed slightly around that spot, and now it's coming back. The Aston Martin driver is coming back at the Mercedes driver now. A little bit wide into the chicane there. It's not what Sir Sharks wants. But, Botched Gerbil, about 1.5 tenths, maybe 2 tenths, we'll call it, away from breaking that. Buzzer picks up a time penalty now as well.
Yeah, you can see where the mediums are required to be, ridiculously grippy, and that's where Sir Sharks is losing the pace now. Those tyres are old and fragile and frail. Use whatever words you want to describe them, as long as they're negative. But on the straights, I mean, they're still pretty quick in straight lines, so that's where he's making back his time. I don't know if he's also using ER assist for that, but it's a interesting situation.
It is indeed an interesting situation. DJ looking to try and line up and move on Raza, but Raza has got DRS. DJ Danny goes up the inside. So it goes down the inside, of Raza. A little bit aggressive from the 2 drivers, but DJ Danny does force his way through against that Ferrari driver. We've got yellow flags. Sir Sharks has gone round at turn 4.
That is what happens when you try and push with one of the fastest drivers in the league this season on old mediums. Now, Botched Gerbil came in quite early in comparison to the likes of Sun Pikachu, who is now comfortably, I'd say, going to be able to get those hards to the end of the race. Liverpool Ewan, I don't think he'll be able to get towards the end of the race on those mediums. Mac won't be able to get to the end of the race, and I think Botched Gerbil will be pushing the limits of those hards.
There is Danny coming into the pits. An interesting move from Danny to come into the pits. Soft tyres for Danny, maybe? Fastest lap?
Let me see what he's got on to. It's a front wing change.
Let Dom keep an eye on that. Fresh set of mediums going on to DJ Danny's car. So maybe a little bit of contact between Danny and Jish there. Forcing Danny into that pit stop. For that, it's Botch Gerbil picks up a time penalty. That could be big, Dom.
Oof, that's gotta hurt.
That is really gonna hurt. If we look at the gap to leader, if we were to cross the line now, Botch Gerbil would drop down to third.
Damn! Yeah, that's unfortunate. He has raced so strongly all race. And for that to happen in the last third of the race is not an easy thing to wrap your head around.
Not indeed. We're going to jump down to MC Dakota, who's within half a second of Vinny Cousin. We could potentially look to line up a move on the Mercedes driver. Vinny gets a very good exit out of that final corner. MC Dakota not able to close that gap. Someone who is closing the gap though, Liverpool Ewan on Sun Pikachu. As Jamie has now left the session, Max will obviously hang around as lobby host. Liverpool Ewan's trying to get this move on Sun Pikachu. XHRC now picks up a time penalty as well. We're on lap 27 of 35 here in the IRL Xbox F1 League, brought to you in partnership with GT Omega, Driver61 and GridFinder.com. Sir Sharks has retired from the session in the pits, so it is a safe retirement there for the Mercedes driver of Sir Sharks. The Mercedes
pit team have let him go.
Have indeed. Oh, Mac picks up a time penalty now as well. That's not going to help him on debut. We are going to have that yellow flag showing Sector 1 for just a little while longer whilst the game does retire. We're going to wait probably until turn 2. He's going to pull off to the left out of turn, or just before turn 2. Yeah, it was just before turn 2. He pulls off to the side. Liverpool Ewan has made that move on Sun Pikachu now. Liverpool Ewan is now up into second place and needs to try and stay within about half a second of Botched Gerbil at a minimum. We need to stay within 3 seconds of the Canadian to gain top spot from him come the end of the race. 12 runners riding at the moment here in Hungary. Botched Gerbil leads the way, but has got that 3 second time penalty that we did mention a little bit earlier on. Liverpool Ewan is in second place at the moment for the AlphaTauri team. He is the person we are currently riding with at the moment on the stream. Sun Pikachu in the Aston Martin currently third with no penalties. So he could really benefit as well from Botched Gerbil's penalty. Could potentially get himself a second place. XHRC in fourth, Raza in fifth, Jish on debut without a penalty in sixth, Mac in 7th, Nathan is in 8th, Vinny's in 9th. MC Dakota rounds out your top 10. As DJ Danny's retired from the session. That's turn 9, 10? Turn 10. Exit of turn 9 into turn 10 for the McLaren driver, and that's the end of his race, unfortunately. We are down to 11 runners. Jish has left the session. John, didn't get Jish back into the session, mate.
Not a problem. The only thing I really want to say right about now is, referee, where's the safety car?
So Sharks has also left the session, but he has unfortunately retired from the race, as has Danny now. Botched Gerbil does still lead the way, lap 29. Jish is back in. So hopefully he can take control of his car. Nice and doesn't lose too much time or positions. Looks like we could potentially be losing P6 here to Mac. He does P6 to Mac. That is less than ideal for the Williams driver. 2 seconds is the lead for Botched Gerbil over Liverpool Ewan. At the moment, Botch Gerbil will swap places with Ewan come the end of this race. Botch Gerbil needs to put another second between himself and Liverpool Ewan. Jish is now in control of his car. PSR Jish is now in control of his car, which is why we lost the intervals. You can see that the gap. We can see the gap between these two drivers. It's still around that 2-second mark between Liverpool Ewan and Botch Gerbil. Some Pikachu, you can see how close he is to Liverpool Ewan as well. Could look to try and take advantage of any potential mistake from either of those two cars ahead of him. XHRC currently in 4th, Raza in 5th, Botch Gerbil's teammates. Mac is in 6th and is in 7th, Jish in 8th, Vinny in 9th, and MC Dakota will round out your top 10. These are the guys that are actually running. C-Russ, as you can see, is ghosted. He has not been in since, I want to say, the start of the race. Unfortunately, we lost C-Russ very early on.
I'm not too sure.
We lost C-Russ very, very early on, unfortunately, in this race. But we're coming up towards the end of lap 30 now. Coming into 5 to go here in Hungary. It is still Botch Gerbil leading the way for the Ferrari team. If you're Liverpool Ewan, if you get close enough to Botch Gerbil, you can see he's already closed that gap a little bit. It's 1.6 now, the gap between Liverpool Ewan and Botch Gerbil. You mentioned you're not sure whether Ewan's tyres are going to go towards the end. Same with Botch Gerbil's. Is it going to be tyre preservation now, or is Ewan going to be sort of looking in his rear view at some Pikachu as well as that gap between himself and Gerbil?
I think he knows that some Pikachu is going to be happy with a P3 here. At best. And we have also lost Raza.
Raza's gone.
Can that not be a safety car?
I mean, that would really, really put a cat amongst the pigeons if we were to deploy a safety car now. It doesn't look like we're going to. It would have been deployed by now. Raza looks to have potentially just got on the power a little bit too much out of turn 3 and just bounced off the wall and ended up on the left-hand side of the track. We are under green flag conditions once again now. So no need for a safety car, according to Michael Massey, the race director for the Formula 1 series. But lap 32 now of 35. Botch Gerbil a second and a half ahead of Liverpool Ewan. Some Pikachu 2.2 back from Ewan. So with Botch Gerbil's 3-second time penalty, they would swap positions at the front. Botch Gerbil would still finish in second place though. And that would increase Botched Gerbil's lead in the drivers' standings over Harry to 20 with 6 races to go.
That's going to be tough to come back from.
And we've got Zandvoort next week as well. Dom and I won't be here. It will be Andrew and Matty taking you through the action next week from Zandvoort. It is a rest week for Dom and I.
I need a rest year after this week, mate.
Just trying to hunt down Mac and regain that P5 that he lost once whilst he was out of the session. And you know, I'm going to say it, Dom. I know he started at the back. Cousin has been able to keep himself relatively clean. To not keep his nose clean, not get into any real issues, and he's going to pick himself up some points. Yeah,
it's the magic of racing. You know, you don't always have to finish at the front to finish well. Start at the front to finish well. So,
Mac is going to send it up the inside. He is indeed. What a move by PSR.
Switchback is pulled off.
Jish has got the DRS. He's going to stick it up the inside again. They're still side by side through turn 2 into turn 3. They come now. Jish does now get ahead of FE Mac 27, and that's going to potentially open the door for Nathan HRX to potentially make it a double whammy for Mac. Not able to make that move yet, as Liverpool Ewan has now closed that gap to Botch Gerbil to under a second, Dom. Liverpool Ewan may not need that time penalty from Botch Gerbil. He may cross the line in first place.
easily done. He just needs to. Some Pikachu just needs to dig in, find the grip on these tires, and really push himself forward, propel the car into a position in which he can stay within 3 seconds of Botched Gerbil. If Liverpool Ewan does make the move at some point, then that is also going to slow Botched Gerbil and Liverpool Ewan himself up in that scenario. So again, some Pikachu could take positions there as well. It is it's a very unique circumstance to be in. A driver on 23 level hards and a driver on 20 level mediums.
It is indeed. We are on the penultimate lap of the race here in Hungary now. It is still Botched Gerbil, current championship leader, that leads the way, but he has got a 3-second time penalty that will be added at the end of the race. So if we look at the gap to leader, he will remain P2 by 0.4 of a second. Just under half a second. Botched Gerbil is clear of... Oh, gone the wrong way. There we go. Clear of Sun Pikachu. We're watching Mac as he's trying to battle with Jish for P5. He has lost that position now to the Williams driver. Jish has reclaimed the position that he had before he disconnected temporarily from the session. Luckily he wasn't gone for too long and was able to get himself back in nice and quickly. As Botched Gerbil now starts the final lap of this Hungarian Grand Prix. And the gap, Dom, has increased again. 1.1 seconds between Liverpool Ewan and Botched Gerbil.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, those mediums are older than the Queen of England herself right about now, so they move about as fast as she does. So the fact that he's managing to keep that car that close for this long is worthy of a knighthood.
Gosh, you come out with some weird things, Dom. You really, really do. You really come out with some bonkers things, my friend. But we wouldn't have you any other way, so it's fine. We're going to stick with Botched Gerbil. Coming around turn 11 now for the last time. In fact, well, no, we're going to go with Liverpool Ewan. Because he has, again, just done his normal thing. He's kept himself clean. He started on pole position. And he's not going to cross the line in first place, but he will be on the top step of the podium. You can see Botched Gerbil ahead of him come round. Botched Gerbil is going to cross the line in first, but Liverpool Ewan is going to win the Hungarian Grand Prix with that time penalty to Botched Gerbil. Some Pikachu does get himself onto the podium. Does just jump XHRC? No, he does not. MCD Coda, though, jumps up to 5th. Not sure how that's happened. Potentially a timing glitch there, I'm not going to lie. Some Pikachu gets driver of the day from the game. I'll see if he does agree with that in just a second, but I'm pretty sure I just saw MC Decoder jump up with a timing glitch. He did. He jumped up with a timing glitch. But that I don't think is right. I think Jish will finish P5. Coda will potentially finish P6. But we'll read it as it is shown on here at the moment. Liverpool Ewan does win your Hungarian Grand Prix. Botched Gerbil in second. Some Pikachu in third. Dom, just so you know who you can invite into the party, Liverpool Ewan and Botched Gerbil can both come in. Oh, we've got some Pikachu jumping in as well.
I invited them all just in case.
Fair enough. So we've got Liverpool Ewan wins the race. Botched Gerbil in second. Some Pikachu in third. XHRC in fourth. MCD Coda 5th. Jish in 6th. Mac in 7th. Nathan in 8th. Vinny Cousin in 9th. C-Russ a lap down in 10th, but we do believe he was AI for the entirety of the race there, so potentially will not be classified. Liverpool Ewan has confirmed he does not have a mic, so we won't have Liverpool Ewan in this evening, unfortunately. Hopefully we will get Botched Gerbil in as well, though. So running out the rest of your grid: Raza, DJ Danny, Sir Sharks, IRL Mats, Shush, Joey, Jamie29X, all did not finish, and Lukidu was, it's gone down as a DNF on screen, but it was a disqualification for driving in the wrong direction. Just going to see if we can potentially get Botched Gerbil in.
Playing my best now, sir.
Oh, just seeing a message from
No,
Matt.
yeah, he's late. He can't do the interview. That's fine.
Yeah,
that is fine.
All good. So,
and sorry, who did the game give Drive of the Day to?
It gave Drive of the Day to Sun Pikachu.
And your personal thought?
Yeah, I'd agree with it.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I would
Fought
agree
really well all weekend. All weekend? Yeah, actually. He had to fight the car in his one outlap. That didn't go as well as he planned it to. And then fought very, very hard to keep himself a podium position.
Did indeed. So we have just had it confirmed by the. Yeah, Jish is there in chat. There is a timing glitch. I didn't have a penalty. No, I didn't think you did, Jish, so you will probably jump back up to, I think it'll be 5th, mate. But we will let the admins deal with all of that as it needs to be. So it has just been confirmed in the admins chat for Invictus. Due to the delay that we had this evening, we will fortunately not have any podium interviews tonight. We do apologise for that, but obviously due to the lateness of finishing everything here this evening, it is just easier and quicker for everyone to let them be on their merry ways this evening. So that is going to bring us to the end of our broadcast here this evening. A massive congratulations to our podium here in Budapest, despite us not being able to chat with them this evening. Liverpool U and Botched Gerbil and Sun Pikachu. Congratulations to all three of those guys. IRL Xbox will be back next week as Andrew and Matty take you through the action in round 10 from the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. But for more IRL racing action, head over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/InvictusRL. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Invictus Racing League, on Twitter @InvictusRL and @InvictusRL_Xbox. And if you would like to get involved in the racing, check out the website InvictusRacingLeague.com. But until next time, from myself, Kieran Wright92 and DomThNoodle, thank you for watching. Good night.